Let's continue on foundational topics menu, and let's learn about bowling scores. My dad was a great bowler, and when I was trying to think of application problems, one day it just came to me that this would give us a more interesting way to do mental math. And it says, this program is dedicated to Robert Bruce Smith, my father. A game of bowling has 10 frames with 10 balls to knock down in each frame. The highest possible score is 300. This means that sometimes each pin counts for more than 1 point. Press the help button for an explanation of spares and strikes. This program will monitor your entries to see if you can calculate bowling scores. Now, in these days, when you go bowling, the machine actually keeps your score for you. And I find that very few kids understand. They know that a strike is good, but they don't know how good. And they know a spare is good, but they don't know how good. When I was a little girl and my dad bowled in a league, and then some days he would go practicing. And on the practice days, he let me go with him, and he let me keep score. So this was really a good way for me to have to practice mental math. Now, you can't do that today unless you cover over the scoreboard, because it's going to do it automatically. Not that I'm against that, but it did give me a lot of practice. So this is the way the program works. You hit new problem, and it tells you what happened during this game, and it's our job to enter the score for the running total for each frame. So this means that the first time the bowler was up, he hit 9 balls down, then he hit 1 ball, and since he got all 10, this was a spare. And then the next frame he hit 8 and 2, another spare. 8 and 1, 8 and 2, another spare. 7 and 12, 10, he got a strike and none. 5 and 2, 8 and 1, 9 and 1, 3 and 7. And since this was a spare, he got an extra 6 and 0. He only got 1 extra ball. Now, if the teacher or the student doesn't know how bowling scores are counted, you can press this help and see. When you have a spare, you get to add the points of the next ball into the frame along with the 10. If you have a strike, you get to add in the next 2 balls. So if a person hit 2 more strikes, that 1 strike would be the 10 of that frame, then a 10 for each of the next 2 balls, which would make that frame worth 30. Hence, when he has the 10 frames, the perfect bowling score would be 300. So let's go back and see what we have here. Now right here, the bowler got a spare, so they get the points that they actually bowled. 9 plus 1 is 10, but because it's a spare, they get to add into that frame whatever they get on the next ball. So this frame would be worth an 18. Now we move to the next frame. It also is a spare, so we get to add the 10 that they actually got plus another 8, so this is going to be 36. And we finally come here, there's nothing extra in this one, so the only thing he gets is the 9, which is now 45. Now, if I were uncomfortable and wanted to know whether I was doing correct or not, answering correctly, I could push the check button, and any frame that didn't have the right total would turn red. Now, we got those 3 right, so let's see if I did the next one and said it was 4 or something, checked it would stay red because it's not the right answer. So here we get to add the 10 they actually got down plus another 7, so the 10 that they added would be 55 and another 7, which looks like it would be 62, and I'm not so good at that, so I want to check, so I'll check, and since it turned white, it was correct. Then we come to 9 in this frame, so that would be 71. Check. Right. Now we get the 10 of this, but get to count the next 2 balls, so we get the 10 plus the 7, so we get 81, and 7 more would be 88, I guess. Check. So you can see the student is sort of working on mental math, we hope. I wouldn't say let them use a calculator for this. The 7 here that's going to be 95. This is just an activity to be a little bit fun, and this would be 104, I hope. And there's no beating them over the head because they get something wrong. They just keep going till they finish. And here we get 9 and 1 makes 10, plus since it's a spare we get another 3, so we get 1, 1, 7, we hope. Check. Okay. And this one we get the 10 plus the 6, so 27, 133, check. Correct. And we've gotten the bowling scores correct. You can see the mental math, and it's just a little mix-up of trying to do things in a little bit different way. Hope you have fun learning how bowling scores were calculated in the good old days when there was no help from the bowling machine. I like bowling. I hope you do too. One time a student made me laugh because he said he would impress his girlfriend now because he would know how the scores came about, since none of his friends knew that. So he thought that that would be really something worth knowing. So enjoy.